Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Talking about topics and stuff. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam. Absolute bedlam podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?
And welcome to Absolute Bedlam podcast. We've somehow managed to get to the end of season 9. We've just hit 5k listens on Spotify, so thank you very much for that. That's a pretty big milestone. It might not sound like a lot to people, but to me that's massive that 5,000 people have, or 5,000 clicks have happened. People have gone out of their way to listen to this, and the most recent episode I didn't even really post it around. I just uploaded it and it just absolutely banged. So thank you so much for listening, guys. Tonight I've got Smiley Dave, and he's smiling already. And been talking on Twitch for about, I'd say probably 7 or 8 months.
Yeah,
just on and off. Obviously, you know Luke from Preston Echo.
Yeah.
Tried to do an interview with him when Transmute dropped and completely fucked that up. So that was fun. And then you were like, do you want me to set it back up? And I was like, well, Transmute's kind of like 6 months old now, so I don't really know if we've got anything to talk about. But yeah, that's kind of how I met you in a weird way. I think Twitch probably recommended your channel to me.
Foolish Twitch. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There's no need for that. Like they're just out to get you as well. Thank you so much for having me on the podcast, buddy.
No worries. How's your day been? You alright?
It's been alright, yeah. I've been traveling, went back to my hometown, went to my favorite restaurant, which served the best chicken. And it now serves the most mediocre chicken. So I was gutted about that. Absolutely gutted. Yeah.
Oh, man. What do you reckon that is?
Huh?
Do you reckon the chef changed or the consistency?
They did say they were short-staffed. So I'm not going to send reviews to Google and all that sort of stuff. But you know what? I'm going to shame them. 2 watermills in Newbury. Do better. Okay. Yeah. I understand you're short-staffed. Don't dry that chicken. I didn't deserve it. Okay.
Genuinely feels like a disciplinary meeting.
I
know you've been through a lot, chicken.
I know. Yeah, I know. We've all been through a lot. I understand.
Yeah.
Others more than I get it. Right? Don't let the chicken suffer for that. That's not on the chicken's fault, right? So yeah,
it's the least you can do. They die
They're exactly.
Yeah.
They're actually very sweet. The waiter and the waitress that served us were just overly sweet. Like it was very. So they were like, "How was your day been?" And I'm just like, "Oh no, it's been very." We'd already sat down, but they were just like, oh, "How's your day been?" And I'm like, well, "Very good, thank you." What you get up to? I'm like, oh, "What's happening?
Yeah.
What is going on? This is too much information. This is too much customer service, if anything."
Pre-interview. Oh yeah. DM'd him before. It says, if Dave comes into your restaurant, then make sure you grill him, pun intended.
Oh, exactly, yeah.
Get one. Awesome.
I was like, luckily I've got podcast later. This is a nice little
That's it.
build up to it. Yeah, a little bit of training.
Awesome. So other than Twitch, you are a comedian. You are a host/producer of various things. I know that you've been involved in Hang the DJ and stuff like that. Is that correct?
I have DJ'd with Hang the DJs, yes. The lovely Tasmin and the lovely Zavi. Yeah, no, I've known them for quite some time. But yeah, no, we did Rock the Week. It was really good because I've known Tasmin Taylor for like ages, and every time we see each other, it's always been lovely and awesome. And she's great because you can use her as a meeting point at festivals because they're just like, the person dressed like they are the embodiment of UV. Like that. You just use that. It's like, there's like an aura. There's a glow around her constantly. So you sit there. So I'm by the glow. Yeah. So it's a really good meeting point. Just moving about.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. You've done quite a lot. I don't really know where to start, to be honest. It's all a bit crazy. You've done some Facebook viral videos as well, haven't you?
So that was the latest. I've been lucky in times, and one of the lucky things was during the COVID. Yeah, a couple of my videos. It all started that I was living in London. Weirdly enough, it's a name drop. This is the weirdest name drop you'll have today. The drummer from Elliot Minor, which is an emo band from the 2000s, and there was a guy living there who was the boyfriend of one of the people living there, and he was looking to get, like, we were just start the pandemic, and he was a lovely guy called George, and he was trying to find his own career path, and he was like, he don't really know what he wanted to do. I was like, he's 6'6", and I was like, you are perfect to be a cameraman. Like, let me just tell you the basics of being a cameraman. I've done video producing for years, like from uni days and from The Hook, and my own projects. So I was like, let me tell you the basics of doing a cameraman. And I taught him the basics of being a cameraman. I was like, right, okay, we did some in the house. I was like, right, there's a panic buy thing going on right now at Tesco's. Like, let's just go down there. We'll bring a camera and we'll cover that, and then we can get you being a cameraman for social media people. Like, you'll know what to do. I'll direct you. It was really good, and we filmed it. We recorded it. It was just it wasn't supposed to be anything. We got the footage back, and I said, look, I'll edit it. You can use it as your show reel. And as I was editing it, I was like, actually, this is not bad. There's some funny stuff in here. There's some good stuff, like stuff that was never meant to be seen, but never meant to see the light of day. And I was like, you know what, I'll just put it together, put it out on Facebook, and it did extremely well. I was like, oh wow, this is something. So yeah, that was the first video, and then I did another video on top after that, which was I think just the people protesting weird stuff. Oh no, I think it was people being horrible to people, like just being mean to start waiters and all that sort of stuff, and shopping assistants. I just made a video, and that did really well. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna carry on doing this. So it all came quite accidentally, and it did. They all did really well, and I was like, right. And I first had my first viral video, got into the millions, which was a good feeling.
Absolutely. What's your thought on these restaurants that are popping up all over the place that are like, they will actively insult you as a customer?
So I love that.
Do you?
Like, I am a fan of comedy roasts, right? Now, if you can go to, like, I mean, is there not a better place than Britain than to go somewhere and just be like, the amount of self-deprecation this country has, every single member of us, it's funny. It is funny. Like, it is one of the greatest things we do is roasting our friends. Like, it is so much fun. Imagine going somewhere where you'll get roasted. All your, any weird, like, sort of, facing. Maybe you have a friend, right, that doesn't shower very often, right? Well, you can go to one of these Karen cafes and hope that one of the waiters just happens to walk by and do the hard conversation for you as they turn around and go, all right, here's your menu and a bar of soap. I hope you get introduced to both of them,
Yeah, fucking hell. I haven't been to one yet, but it just sounds like the most mental, like you say, the most UK thing ever.
Oh yeah. Which one have you heard of?
Karen's Diner. Yeah, I think that's the one you mentioned just then. But I'm assuming they'll become more ubiquitous as time goes on if they're successful, and they'll be in like the Dolphin Shopping Centre in Poole, and potentially, I can't remember what the place is called in Southampton, but Southampton, I'd go there.
Well, Southampton, I mean, they don't have to have a Karen one day. They're just underpaid, so you get that treatment anyway.
Yeah, the warm-up version. Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
What else have you been up to lately? I know you've done a podcast with Luke from Preston Echo.
Yeah. Tangent podcast. Yeah, that's been really fun. Like, he is so lovable. Like, he is just a ball of happiness, and he never has a bad word. Even if I have a bad word to say, he will play the devil's advocate, which is the happy one. He'll be the happy version. He's a massive UFC fan, which is so odd.
Yeah.
Because he's a massive UFC fan. And he is just the most lovable person ever. Like, his voice is hilarious. It's incredible. It's vocally impressive. But just his talking, like the dynamics between me, who's got quite a low voice, and him, who's got a particularly high voice, is just, I love it. But he's very hard to get a hold of. So I understand if he's a very busy boy.
Yeah, I had a bit of a nightmare trying to get hold of him for the Transmute interview. I had to go through Marshall Records, and I was trying to explain to the A&R person there that like I was using my phone at this point. I still use my phone sometimes now, and it's a 15-minute time-sensitive link, and they were like, "Well, we finish at 5 p.m." And I was like, I need you to forward this. Like, if you're not going to give me his email address, I don't know what you want me to do. And I use Google Meet for the first time ever. This whole new world of like video editing and all this sort of stuff and video podcasting. And I forgot to press record.
Oh, no,
I just forgot to press record. So I'd ended the meeting, and this this horrible feeling that you get of like my dog's legitimately eating my homework and I'm fucked.
Yeah.
That feeling.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of hope that this like does something. Like when Zoom finishes, it syncs and it converts the file.
Yeah.
And I was like, that will happen. Like that will back me up and save my ass. And it just didn't happen. So I basically just had a Zoom meeting with Luke and talked about Transmute for an hour. But yeah, I got onto Twitch, like, because he was streaming straight after the interview. Yeah. And I was like, mate, I fucked up. He's like, don't worry about it, it's fine. But yeah, he's well into his cars, isn't he, Luke?
He is ridiculously into his cars. We talked on one of the episodes, we talked about how he put together this car. Him and his dad were going to like something like Good Speed. No, that's not it. Anyway, it's like a car convention type thing, and they're in this Mini, and the Mini like it breaks halfway down the motorway, and like it snaps, like the axle snaps and all that sort of stuff. Like as much as he knows everything about cars. He knows so much about cars. He puts together the cars in his spare time, but he does not have the best of luck in cars. Like he pushes the limit of what a car should be expected to do. Like if a car looks like it's going to die, don't plan a 2.5 hour journey with a motorway. Yeah. Right. And then he's by the motorway. He's at the end the side of the motorway. And he was just telling me like the stories. It's the stuff you don't like, the fact that people throw not just litter and garbage and cans on there, but it's like human stuff and like these huge bottles, like milk bottles filled with truckers.
yeah. Bloody hell, man.
Yeah. So like he just told the story, and I was like, what is going like? Yeah. But he absolutely loves cars. Absolutely like huge fan of them.
Yeah.
He even got like that video game.
Mario Kart. Yeah, he's all about it, isn't he?
Oh no, he had one called My Summer Car, where you actually have to build a car.
Yeah.
And it's all technical. It's boring.
I think he was one of the first people I watched on Twitch, and his streams, mate, are completely all over the place. Like when you join like the room when he actually goes live, you've got like a little pixel, like a little character. And you're like flying across the screen, and like people put in like their Pokemon Whale Lord, which is like this fucking huge like Pokemon. And there's like farting going on, and like channel redeems, and just this like a sort of foghorn noise, and that sort of thing.
To him, that's a library. That's him being in a library. That is normal. That is how he like more chaos. Yeah. Like, and it syncs up with him. Like, you get to a certain amount of just chaotic, good. Like, and it's just like white noise to him. This is how life is.
Yeah, very wholesome. And he was always wearing the same, because he's like jerky worms, isn't he, on Twitch rather than Luke. Yeah. But it's like a sort of alter ego, and I imagine his like wardrobe's just like 50, like The Simpsons, where it's just the same outfit.
Oh, so he's the same character each time. No, I've managed to catch him on a couple of podcasts wearing different T-shirts. But it's weird because when I watched the footage back, he was wearing that same yellow and black stripy T-shirt. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure it was an illusion, one of the greatest illusionists ever. Like, nice. Yeah.
Love that. So, what got you into Twitch?
Well, I'm actually out of it now. I did the last one last week just because I like Twitch because it was a way of talking to fans that had been, that I'd made through Facebook. And Zoe London, some friends of mine who do social media, they were just like, Dave, you've got to come over here. It's so much fun. You'll kill it on here. And when I started, it was great and awesome. But it just sort of took up way too much. There's too much technical stuff to like. I've never felt so much like a boomer than when I was trying to. Not that I mean, Boom was like genuinely better at IT and technology than myself, but I've never felt so pathetic when it comes to. It was just too technical. Just too technical. I like funny stuff. And if the funny thing doesn't work, that frustrates me. Like I always had 2 cameras, and if like I'd use one camera to like do something stupid, and you know, but yeah, so I stopped doing Twitch. It was just it was great to talk to everyone and all that stuff, but I just needed to concentrate on my videos, the podcast, and doing my stand-up. Going back to doing stand-up again.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about.
You can definitely dilute your brand if you're trying to be everywhere at once and reacting to things and just like, it can get a bit much.
I was trying to start on Twitch again because I've got 49,000 followers on Facebook, but yet I was on Twitch, like sort of it just sort of George said didn't sort of sync up. And just why am I taking the harder route?
You're just about to hit a K on Twitch. I've just seen the conversion rate, mate. I don't know what that's about. Like, it's so brutal. Like, there's a YouTube channel I've watched for ages, and they're massive. TGF Bro. I watched them at like 600 subscribers, and then they started doing their own content. Like Jay and Ramel started doing their own channels, and it like made TGF bigger almost. I think they're now on like 8 million subscribers. But if they went over to Twitch, their conversion rate at the beginning, eventually it would probably reach like 3 million, 4 million. But it's just piss poor. I don't know what you have to do nowadays to get people to click a link, but it seems harder than ever now.
It's so I mean there's all like Twitter hasn't helped because you've always got those links. Every third one is like a promoted post, and it's like filled with cookies and all that sort of stuff, so it doesn't help. I actually met the manager of the TGF Bros in Covent Garden one time, and he was just telling me they were just about to launch a new energy drink, their own energy drink. I don't know if they've launched it yet. So they've got
energy. I don't think it's
childish, and so he had this. It was great. We were in London, and he's just walking around with this white powder in a large baggie, and I'm just like, what's going on? And my friend, who's also a social media person, he was just there. He's just licking his finger and putting his finger in there and just tasting it. I'm just like, what is going on? What is happening? I feel like there's a SWAT team going to come in any second now and take us all out. What is going on? And they're like, oh no, this is the guy from TGF Bros. He's got this as his new flavor. I'm like, oh, well, keep putting your finger in there, you weirdo. Literally just and he was just telling me they only do 2 drops a year for their merch, and it sells out like that. Yeah. And I won't say the number, but it's amazing. Yeah. Like the things they have to get ready for these drop days, and the quickness of them selling it is phenomenal. And they deserve everything.
Yeah. They really grinded. Like, I'm not trying to derail this, but fuck me, like they were living in their parents' houses. They were cementing themselves into bathtubs. They're just like I love, like, I've always had this deep fascination with glue on my hands and like peeling it off in one sweep, satisfying sort of ASMR sort of thing. But they would just like hold my beer, like we're gonna like break into like a freight container full of toys and just this. Yeah, it's like sort of Peter Pan vibes of like.
But that's it. I mean, we are
the childhood, so
we are the Peter Pan. Well, we're called the Peter Pan generation because we're the generation that never grew up, which I totally agree with. Actually, there's a whole. There's a I don't know how to. I've talked about Peter Pan. There's something I heard about Peter Pan, which I think is quite sweet but quite macabre as well. Okay. That the whole Peter Pan thing was made up by the author to help parents get over the death of their children.
Okay.
If they died young, Peter Pan was basically taking them to heaven, to their heaven, where they would never grow up, and they would just carry on, and like it was just like a nice thing. Like Peter Pan was basically the Grim Reaper who would just be taking these kids and just taking them to a better place.
Because they fly.
That's quite sweet. I thought that's quite. I mean, it's macabre, but it's quite sweet. Anyway, back to happy things.
Yeah.
I just found that. I just it's sort of a weird thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So the last time I did watch you on Twitch, you were playing Soma.
Oh god, yeah.
And I could tell that there was a lot going on. and I was trying to sort of coordinate this with you, and
Yeah.
you know, doing that on a Twitch stream is fucking just. Sometimes
I
it's
mean,
the
it
only
works.
way that I can interact with people. We're here now,
Yeah.
obviously, but sometimes I know that people are like flooded with DMs. They live in London. They've got to go on other people's podcasts to promote their own podcast and all that sort of stuff. And like Tasman's a really good example of that, where she's just flat out. She's always doing something constantly.
Her work ethic. So, will people know? Will your listeners know who Tasman is?
I think so. Yeah, I've got a couple of sort of things in the pipeline to get her on at some point, because she was absolutely killing the Twitch game. But
So
I think a lot of people that are local to me will know who she is.
Well, Tasman. Yeah. So we DJ'd together at the Heavy Music Awards. I think it was the second year. Yeah, because their first year I did the interviews for the Heavy Music Awards. Then the second year was at the Coco in Camden.
Nice.
And we DJ'd on stage, but it was hilarious. I made a video about it because we went up there was all sorts of problems getting us on stage. Then when we finally got up on stage, like the curtain comes up and there's no one. The security have told all the crowd that they have to leave. Like that, even though like there was supposed to be an after party, all the security have gone around and told everyone to get out. So when the curtain came up and there's no one there, we were just like, oh, so we're just playing to like the music industry and bands.
Yeah.
And it was just so weird. And I was just like, this is so tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah, since like Tasman has just absolutely just grabbed life by the reins and just riding that DJing life, and her and Zavi together. Oh my God, so a download festival. You've never heard donk music. Put a donk on it, like style music, and it's a download festival, a place where I once put on Toto Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. What? Like, how can anyone hate Toto Africa? I hear you. I can see it in your eyes, right? And
Absolutely.
a guy comes up to me whilst I'm DJing in the guest area. He goes, "I didn't travel 200 miles to listen to Toto Africa. Put on some Saxon." Right.
Right.
And I'm like, yes, sir. Like huge biker dude with Vikings in the back. And now like Tasman and Zavi, like Tasman looking like the glowing Adonis that she is. Adonis? That does not work. There's a goddess, isn't it? And Zavi, the beautiful man that he is, just doing these like massive donks, like sort of dancing in this DJ thing, and everyone on the floor going crazy. It was wonderful.
Fantastic. Yeah, I think the last time.
And you know her from Fandangle, right?
Yeah, man. So I've got 10 minutes. I'll send you a new link. So I'll try and condense this down. I think she went to Weymouth College. I don't know if that's 100%, but she was always at a venue called Queen's, which is now ironically a solicitor's building, which is just like the most complete polar opposite. Like it was the most mental music venue. People getting served underage. You know, people were buying like a pint of Coke, and literally someone would go out back and get a 2-litre bottle of Coke that hasn't even been refrigerated, and they would like fill it up, and like people were in financial trouble and stuff like that. And it was just such a like classic music venue, and we had mental bands like N-Dubs, Jeffree Star, Fandangle.
That's a name I haven't heard for a while.
New Riot, I think they were called.
I was in a Fandangle music video.
Nice.
Like back in the day when Adam Bantz, the lead singer, I actually went to LA last year. 3 years ago, but just before the pandemic. And we actually met up. He's like best mates with Jim Jeffries now. I went. We had a mutual friend took us down to his place in at the time it was like Farnborough, Camberley, and we went to his music video, and they were doing a music video out the back, and my friend ended up they gave him a beer bong, right? So a beer bong. So I saw him doing it, and they filmed him doing the beer bong. And I was like, yeah, that looks like fun. And I must have been like, 16 or something like that, right? And he was like 18, 19, and a better drinker than I ever was. And I've got myself the beer bong, and I put my head down, and I'm waiting for them to put the beer in there. They put one beer in there, and then the rest, and you can see this in the music video, and the rest is like about 5 or 6 spirits, neat spirits going in at once, and I'm just like gulping, not thinking this through.
Yeah.
Right, just keep on gulping because I can't see what's going on up there.
Yeah.
And then there's a video. It's also in that music video later on is me throwing up by the fence.
Nice. Nice.
Proudest moment.
Yeah, and
That was on P-Rock.
Nice.
If you remember P-Rock.
No, I don't have a clue what that is. No.
It was before. So P-Rock is what Scuzz TV turned into.
Yeah. There's a mental music channel I'll mention in a bit that just seemed like it was like Luke Callie's brain, basically, for like 3 hours a day. I'll go on to that in a bit. But Tasmin, going back to her, like, she was always at gigs. Like, she lived and breathed it. And I felt like if she actually grabbed the bull by the horns and moved to somewhere like London, then she would actually make something out of herself, because I can't really see her working behind a bar and like settling. Do you know what I mean? She's a bit like, oh my god, I'm the life and soul of the party. I am a glow stick. And yeah, she's done really well for herself, which is really cool to see, actually.
Yeah, she's moved in like she's with like I say, like sort of Xavi's a lovely, like just a massive 6'5" puppy as well, and just watching them together. Like I was talking to Xavi, and like he was talking about how they DJ separately as well. Like she does under Tasmin Taylor. He does stuff under Xavi. But he gets, because he's used to going on tour with her, and that because of Hang the DJs, he now gets. He was telling me that he gets sad because he now DJs on his own. Yeah. So he doesn't, and so he doesn't DJ. So he'd rather DJ with Tasmin, and like that's a beautiful business relationship as well as an actual real relationship. As well.
I get that. Yeah.
Very sweet.
I think the last time I saw her was Teddy Rocks. And
she just went down from Boomtown.
Oh right, yeah.
Amazing time.
She went to see Raiders, Sean Smith's new band.
Oh yeah.
And she was like, "Hey, how's it going, Ben? You all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, just chilling really. I helped out a couple of times at this festival like a couple of years ago and stuff like that." And she's like, "I fucking love Sean. He's a right little slag." And she just went up to like the stage, and Sean was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, she's here!" And just like a genuine like real relationship, you know. Like a lot of people big up themselves at festivals, and they're like, "I once saw the Blackout sound check, and they acknowledged me because I subscribed to their Patreon." Whereas, like, it's a genuine reaction and an interaction, and it's quite nice sometimes when people don't just like inflate themselves at these festivals and then disappear off the face of the earth and bullshit people. But yeah, there we go.
What have you seen? There was so much anger behind that sentence. There was just like
I've seen a lot, man. I used to put on gigs, mate. I've seen it all.
That's where the jadedness has come from. I knew there was something.
I've seen people like watch Skin Dread sound checks, and then like a couple of hours later, they're like, "Yeah, me and Benji just couldn't stop talking," and I'm like, "That didn't happen. I was here." Like, you put the barrier up on the stage, and then you went and got a drink. Like, don't lie to me.
There's something when you go to festivals and stuff, and if they do it, it's one of those things. I have experienced being on stage, like backstage, listen to a band, maybe a couple of times. Like I was always asked to do it, and I did it like a couple of times, and then I realized that it's horrible. Yeah, it is. The sound is horrible. It's cool to see a crowd if they're doing stuff. I mean, if you can get on Skin Dread's. If you're watching Skin Dread and you're watching, on side of stage or something, and you get to that when they do the Newport helicopter, takes her t-shirt off. That's got to be an awesome sight to see. That would be. But if you're just side of stage, to say you're side of stage with this band,
100%,
that doesn't make any sense. It sounds horrible. The speakers point out you literally just get drums. Yeah. You just get drums and cymbals, and it's and like muffled. Vocals, the monitors that the guys use, that the guitarist and the singer uses, point to them. They don't point out to the side. So it's just start effing. And it's
Absolutely.
It's not good. It's a horrible way to enjoy a festival. If that's your thing where someone you've got to have a story, and your story is I was side of stage for a festival. That is a terrible story.
Yeah, and like I've been on side of stage, and it like you say, the sound is like changing from stereo to mono.
Oh yeah.
It's like, why would you Like, I watch a couple of songs, I might watch a band sound check, but then I'll go into the crowd and actually experience it with people throwing beer at me and basically becoming a tumble dryer. That's what I want. That's what I've gone to see Gojira for, do you know what I mean? I haven't gone to watch him play a fucking side stage set. Yeah.
I've walked around all day and my ankles have been fine. That's not a normal thing. I want some of that to change immediately. Let's get in that pit. Let's put what's left of my cartilage in my knees to the test.
Yeah, awesome. Right, I'll send a new link, and I'm conscious that time is running out. We'll talk about some of the gigs that you've been to, and if you've got any plans to go to any more.
Okay.
And we'll talk about some various other things, like Kinder Eggs, cheese strings, and UK stuff that doesn't travel very well, to be honest. But that's the situation we're in. So I'll send you a new link in a sec, and we'll get started on part 2, okay?
All right, bud.
Cheers.
Bye.
And we're back.
Recording in progress.
So, what were we talking about? I think I was going to mention something before we went to break. I cannot remember for the life of me what it was. Anyway.
What were we talking about? Tasman, we were talking about...
Yeah.
Gig. No, you want to talk about gigs. I was talking about Kinder. Hang on.
Nah, that'll do.
I went to the Edinburgh Fringe. I don't know if that's...
Yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah. Let's quickly go into comedy for a sec. So, how did you get into comedy, and what was your sort of gateway into it?
That could be a like 3-hour-long podcast right there, right? But the quick version is my old man was always like the funniest guy. I'd always been in a room, and he would be using me as a prop, like to make everyone laugh, right? Because he goes for shock humor, right? Like he's not the most emotionally intelligent or like politically correct, and which is a nightmare in itself. So he would be making jokes about what he'd be like, and I'd be maybe 5 or 6, and we'd have this like sort of Morecambe and Wise, Ernie Morecambe and Wise sort of thing, where he would say a joke that would make people laugh because he'd be saying it in front of his son, and then I'd be like, and then he'd say to me, I'd say that's disgusting, and then he would double down by saying something overly disgusting, and it was really messed up. Yeah. But I also saw the reaction he got from all his friends, and I absolutely loved that. Like that's the personality so I get my comedy from my dad, and the other stuff from my mum. But he was just and it kind of, like, I used to watch videos, VHSs back in the day of the comedians, and it would be like comedians that are cancelled now. But I liked the fact that they would say stuff and they would make people laugh, and I tried doing them at school. I'd repeat the jokes. At school, I get a laugh, and then I did a talent contest. There was a talent show at my school prize court, and I told 3 jokes. It was only 3 jokes, like like a Englishman, Irish, and Scotsman sort of thing. And I won the competition, which was really cool. And I've always just loved making people laugh. Making people laugh was like my main thing to do as a kid and a teen. Yeah,
I think that's where a lot of my cynicism comes from. I'm stop doing this now because it got to the point where I was just entertaining and I wasn't actually being myself. I was just being this like exaggerated, inflated person. But I would literally do anything to make people laugh, to the point where like I would self-deprecate. I'd be like, oh, this isn't a very good night, I haven't been abused yet, and just like mental shit, like Frankie Boyle level of like insanity. And a lot of people kind of befriended me because of that. Like we'd go for like a work night out, or we'd go for like a reunion from school, and they'd kind of be there like, he's about to say something mental, and I'm like, wow, I don't want to just be that person that's always on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
See, I get that. Like there are some times where I'm just like, okay, I there's people pleasing. Like I was always like a people pleaser, which is also quite bad, because those people pleasers, the happy people, are usually the ones that get burnt at some point, you know, or like they don't get taken seriously and overlooked, which, you know, because you're so easygoing and you're so, you know, fun loving, yeah, you can be overlooked, and and bad things can happen. I've always wanted to do that. Like, I've never stuck to a group of, when I was at school, I never stuck to a group of people. I was never in like I was never like, you know, just
clique.
Friends with one person. Like a clique, I was never like, I was friends with the nerds, I was friends with the geeks, I was friends with the popular kids, and I was like, except for the super popular kids, they just couldn't understand my humor. They just kept doing that weird thing where I don't know if they did it at your school, they just spat on the floor constantly. They just had like a weird thing, just like little spits, and I'm just like, I'm not sure what is going on. Why is that a thing? Why? And then you see like the people that were wanting to be popular trying to do that, and I'd be like, why are you starting doing that? So
kind of flood the fucking playground.
Yeah, it's just gross.
Where you
I would just be with a group of people. So I'd be with the nerds, I'd make them laugh, and as soon as I make them laugh, I move on to the next group. And then move on to the next group.
I relate to that. It's like mission accomplished.
My
30-minute break. This is my opportunity to do my stand-up. It's mental, isn't it?
100%. Like, and it was reacting. It was singing songs, like coming up with comedy songs. My whole thing, my GCSE year, like, I did average on my GCSEs, but there was the only thing I wanted to do for my end of year was there was a science teacher there called I don't know if I can say her name, but so there was a science teacher there, and she never laughed at anything I did, and I was like, I'm going to make her laugh. I need to make her. It became an illness. A
conquest.
I had like a war room, and I'm just like, right, I'm going to use this joke here. Like, I'm just moving like, no, that's not true. It's
more important than actually getting through school.
It was more important, and also my friends knew how important it was to me to make this person laugh. So I made all the other teachers laugh, even the hardest ones, but this one she just wouldn't laugh. And I can't. She said something, and I said, I retorted. I honestly, I can't remember what it was because everything was a blur. Because she chuckled, and I got up my seat and I went, I was like, yes, like that, and like my friends, they were just like, ah, like he's done it. Like, I'm just like, thank you. I've taken a lap, and she's like, Mr. David, can you sit back down, please? I'm like, no, I made you chuckle. I'm taking it. Like, that's a
proper
win.
like cobwebbed like pinata drops from the ceiling.
That's it. You said the magic word, like, oh god, there were ticker tape parade and everything. It was wonderful.
Everyone's got a sense of humour. It's just tapping into that, but it's also not like completely changing your entire like world belief to suit that narrative sort of thing.
I mean, I'm very much a chameleon. Like, I can. If I'm talking to, I've got friends like that are into grime. Like, I've got like friends that are mad into grime. So like, I'll use words and terminologies that I know that they know, and like I can like just to fit, just so I can get the jokes out there. And they so I don't seem so alien. So
I think sometimes comedy is like the best defense is a good attack. So you kind of like poke fun at people and see how they react, and then you're like, it's just a joke, it's just a prank, bro. That sort of YouTube mentality. That's
YouTube comedy. That's the worst. It's like, oh, I just cut off your leg, and it's just like, just a prank, bro. Just to know, it's okay. Look, I've got a camera there, and it's like, oh, I didn't see the camera. Oh, so keep the leg, I'll just have my nub.
I watched a Facebook video recently, and it is the most staged video I've ever seen in my life. And it's basically a guy who goes into a supermarket with his wife, and he gives her a mannequin hand, which is like a severed hand, and she's walking around the supermarket holding his hand, and it's a 22-minute long video. It's
so
like,
I know
at
exactly.
some point, surely you're going to realise that hand hasn't actually got any weight to it. Like, come the fuck on. But it's funny. The comments are funny, at least.
Well, this is the thing, like, the amount of staged videos on Facebook is horrendous. and they're all in the millions.
Yeah.
Like they're all in. There's not one of those horrible, horrifically staged videos. Like my videos, I make sure that nothing's staged. I make sure that I try and get it on the first. If I'm doing a quip, like I get it on the first hit. The first hit's going to be because that's the most real reaction.
Yeah.
But that stage nonsense is so much, and people enjoy it. So what am I to? Who am I to tell them what to? But
it also auto plays as well. So it's just this like algorithmic. Like you might like this, you might, and then people are just like, I can't bother to come off of this. I'm stuck now.
I don't want to attack the algorithm too much because my videos, for some reason, my Capital Riots video is still making the rounds. Like
Really?
Wow. Yeah, in the last couple of months, it's gone up 200,000 views.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so I went from 2.5 to 2.7, and I'm just like, I haven't put it out there. No one's talking about it. Maybe because Trump got the FBI thing, and like that's back in the thing. You know, but it's interesting.
Don't bite the fake hand that feeds you. Something like that.
That's it. That's it.
There we go. Gigs. So, can you remember the first? Yeah, nice. First ever gig you went to?
Oh yes. I thought it was. No, it wasn't that one. Oh God, no, it wasn't that one. Was it that one? Oh God, no. Yeah. So my first ever gig was like the first proper gig. I've been to like a local. What do you mean, like with a band, with an actual band?
Yeah, like sort of established, like someone like Bring Me Horizon or someone like that.
So my mate was dating this girl on MSN, right, on the internet.
Yes.
Right. This is how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And she was in Leicester, and we were in Newbury, and he wanted to go finally meet her, right? And so we got a bus, we got a coach from Newbury to Leicester, and he said, look, she's got extra tickets to go see Green Day. And I'd heard a couple of songs from Green Day, and I was like, yeah, why not? I'll go down there. And we went to Nottingham, and we went to meet up, and luckily they got on. That was wonderful. We went to Nottingham Rock City, where Green Day were playing, and it was and I know exactly. I can remember the date. I know exactly when it was. I know what tour it was. It was December 9th, on the year 2000, right? And we got there too early, so we went round to the bowling alley next door. We're in bowling away in the second lane, right? With my mate, his internet girlfriend, and her mate. And this American girl's come up to us and just like, hi, can we try out your balls, please? Ours don't seem to be working. And at 14 years old, we were just like,
you said balls.
You said balls.
Got him.
It's a cracking comedy, amazing comedy. I turned around to my mate and I was just like, this is mad. Like these girls have traveled all the way from America just to see Green Day. And we looked over, and in lane 1 was Trey Cool, the drummer, on his birthday, like in the next lane. And I was just like, dude, that's the drummer. We got everything signed. We got like t-shirts, like everything was being signed. I had face signed, just everything. And and then we watched Green Day, and that gig literally changed my life because I saw what Billy Joel was doing on stage. He had the crowd in the palm of his hand. He was putting on different hats. It was like he did King for a Day, and he was like putting on hats. It was just a master class in entertainment and what he was doing. And since that day, I've looked at it. I remember that. I remember what he's done, and I've always just wanted to be there. Yeah, and it was just the greatest thing. Yeah, but Bouncing Souls was supporting.
Well. Oh yeah, bloody hell, I haven't heard them in a while. Yeah. What a name? What a shout out. Most recent gig you've been to?
Does that have to be music?
Anything really. Anything.
I went to Edinburgh Fringe and saw a couple of new comedians, a few comedians. One performing nerd who's actually on Twitch, a very very funny guy who does some magic. He is a memory man with he does tricks with Rubik's cubes. Okay. But yeah, definitely if you're on Twitch, go check out Performing Nerd. Okay. But there was an amazing. I really enjoyed the comedians. There was a guy called I love seeing new comedy, and there's a guy called Vlad Ilici. So it's ILICI, I think, Ilici. And he was so funny. Like he was from North Moldova. No, Moldova. I know the one, Macedonia, North Macedonia.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said Moldova as well. When I told you, I was like, "You're from Moldova, right?" He's like,
Right.
"No." North Macedonia, hilarious. Just his view of like the British people is hilarious. And he introduced me to a guy called Radu from Romania. And if you just type in Radu into YouTube, you can see some clips. And he did an hour on the pandemic. And me having jokes already about the pandemic and how people were and everything. He was doing the plus points of the pandemic. So he was playing devil's advocate, and it was the funniest hour I have ever seen. The way he cried. We all went for a beer after as well. I got to know them, which was really cool. But it was just the funniest thing. Like just the funniest thing. So yeah, I definitely just suggest Radu, Radu, as well, just as comedians.
Has the Fringe always been in Edinburgh?
I think other people have other fringe as well. This is my first ever fringe. It's the first time I've ever been there. I stupidly went on a coach because I wanted to experience it from the perspective of a brand new comedian. You know, I didn't want to, take flights and take trains or anything. I wanted to do like ground level stuff. So we got the cheapest coach, which was the stupidest idea. It was hell on earth. Although it has like the coach trip back, which was overnight, which involved like people shouting at each other, taking their socks off and putting their feet up on other people's legs. It was, and like, I swear to God, like at one point there was a wild boar that just ran through the actual coach. That didn't happen, but it felt like it did.
Crash Bandicoot level.
Absolutely disgusting. But it was it drove me. I was like, never let this happen again. Work harder, put out more videos, make sure that this doesn't happen to you.
It's your fuel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fuel for the fire.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's the end of it, but it was my first fringe. Absolutely loved it. Yeah.
No, the reason I ask that is because I'm from the absolute southwest part of England, and for me to go to Edinburgh to watch some comedians is appealing, but I'm not sure if I can take sort of 4 days off work to justify that, because that's a hell of a lot of a car journey and a lot of fuel.
The thing is this, that because it's so expensive, you do get guilted by the comedians because they spend a lot of money, renting out these places. So every time I went to go see one, it was like £10, £15. Like even if it's free, you still put in like £10, £15. So just like, that was a great set. It deserves it. There was one guy who caught us off guard. He's a fellow Dave. I'm not gonna say his last name because he was the worst thing. He was the most narcissistic guy. We walked in, right? He looked and he hadn't learnt his bit at all, right? He was just reading from this A4 paper, and he went to the A4 paper, went back to the microphone and said, "I'm in a throuple with my dogs." Okay, that is a thing.
Right.
And then went back to the page and I was like, "What do you mean? Why did anything finish there? You've just explain why this is a thing. You have 2 dogs? Is that what you're saying? Are you trying to find a funny way to say you have 2 dogs?" Like, it was and me and my girlfriend, we just were like, we're there and we're like, there are 8 people in here. If we leave, it's gonna be awkward. So we wait for the whole thing, and I'm just like, I was just lapping everything. I was just soaking up all this terribleness. At one point he goes to the crowd and says, has anyone else been in a near-death experience? And one of the crowd members, who after a painful while and no one has said anything, someone puts up their hand. He goes, "Yeah, what moment did you find was a near-death experience?" And this girl goes, "Well, I went up some rocks one time." "When you went up some rocks?" She went, "Yeah, and I couldn't get back down." And now I'm half cut by this point, right? It's about 12 midnight. It's about midnight. Yeah. And I am in tears laughing because I'm like, so she's awkward. Pouring out her heart, which I suggest. Like, and we're 20 minutes, we're 15 minutes late anyway because we're watching an actual hilarious sort of stand-up. So I don't know if she said, "Look, this is a safe space where you can say whatever you want," but I am in tears and laughing. And she's got a wicked sense of humor as well. So my girlfriend's in tears, and it's just the funniest thing ever. It's just, okay. And it was just so surreal. And I kept he gave us an A5 leaflet, right? And on this A5 leaflet is his face. It's just his face, his name, and some kind of, I don't know who he paid to say superb comedian, right? But he had it on there, and I've taken it back. And what my girlfriend doesn't know is that I'm going to have it blown up, and she's going to find this A5 paper like in different places. Like if we ever have an argument, I'm just going to slide it in the fridge and just like put it in different places, and just it'd be hilarious moment we can just reminisce about together.
You could do your own testimonial of like massive fan of rocks.
Huge.
Absolutely
oh my
smashed
god.
It. Yeah.
Has a great story about dogs. Ask him about my dog story.
No, doesn't know when to do crowd participation or not. Doesn't know how to read the room. Yeah.
It was so weird. And then he kept doing an impression of what's his name? Who's the guy from the ball? Jason Statham.
Yeah.
Jason Statham in different adverts, and it was the cringiest. Like the accent was off, the impression was terrible. It was god.
Yeah.
It was the most painful 40 minutes that it's burnt into my retinas.
Love that.
Highly
So
suggested.
Any gigs coming up in the future?
I'll be doing gigs around London, but that like nothing until I get I want to get a strong 40 minutes together and hopefully get a special recorded by sometime. But there's lots of things. My next big gig, I think I'm hosting the Newbury, the biggest real ale festival in the UK.
Nice.
Which is the Newbury Real Ale Festival. It's very cool. We had Reef play there before.
Oh yeah.
And they could top loader, which is
That's
very hard.
mainline.
Yeah, that's it. Literally,
That's it.
it's like
Just that 40
when
times.
they said,
Yeah.
this is the thing. So I said, right, how have you got Reef? Like with their, how am I supposed to like introduce Top Loader? Am I supposed to go, ladies and gentlemen, Top Loader and their song? Like, that's all they have. When they finally did when they did the set, right? And it was a nightmare to get them on. They were so, oh my god, they were so picky. We got them on. They got them on, and they're just coming off stage, and they're like, Smiles, we can do an encore. And I was like, you just milked Dancing in the Moonlight for 11 minutes. What have you got left? We're going to do the same song again. Yeah. So they came on and did Elton John. I was like, that is a you sneaky, cheeky bastards.
It's Top Loader and a loop pedal. It's just
Dancing in the Moonlight was a cover. It's not even their song. It's a cover of someone else's
It's like
song.
Whiskey in a Jar, Metallica. Yeah. Bloody hell. Brilliant. Who inspires you to do comedy? Who are your favourite comedians?
Wow. So who inspired me? I got, I think it was a Poundland VHS of Richard Pryor, and I hadn't known about Richard Pryor. It just said it does stand-up comedy. And I watched that, and I learned. I think I've watched that more than any other comedy special ever. He just taught me how to tell stories, like the way he tells stories, the way he is it anamorphize? The way he just told stories was the most amazing thing I've ever. The fact that it's from the 70s, it's called Richard Pryor Live in Concert. It's the red DVD. It's known as like the red video, and it was the funny, and it was just hilarious. And he was like one of the first people to be telling stories like he was, not doing machine gun jokes, and doing what he's doing. And it's still today one of the funniest. That it still holds up. Nearly 50 years later. In fact, over 50 years. It must be over 50 years now. But now, when it comes to comedians, there are so many. Bill Burr is a huge inspiration to me. Tom Segura, another, like, again, American comedians. I love the storytelling American comedians. I'm not big on the pun one-liners. Although I like Dimitri Martin, who is also another incredible underrated, very intelligent. He's like a math comedian, which is very strange. But yeah, so Tom Segura, Bill Burr. In the UK, I'm not gonna. I sound a little bit like Michael McIntyre when I get excited, so I want to try and stay away from that. And also, he was fine at the time, and then just got oversaturated. But Ed Byrne's great. Hopefully, I'll be talking to him soon. I've had some weird phenomena with Ed Byrne, which leads me to believe that I need to have him need to talk to him because there's just so many things. There's a few things that have happened that I'm just like, the universe is trying to put us together.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. What else? UK comedians. Radu. Like he is literally one of the way his mind works. Radu, Romanian comedian. He's been here for a few years, and he is just an incredible joke teller. The way he builds up, the way like he is fearless. He will let you believe there is nothing coming for like 50 seconds, which on stage is a long time. 50 seconds of him just explain, just getting to, and when that punchline hits, it is the funniest thing. I can't recommend him high enough.
Yeah. Fantastic. Love that list. That was awesome.
I mean, there's so many others as well, but video games. Oh wow.
So you were primarily a just chatting streamer on Twitch, but you delved into stuff on Twitch like Soma and various other games that I'm sure you played before I followed you. What's your childhood memory of a video game? What was the first one that you can remember playing?
Wow, first one I remember playing was possibly Rise of the Triads, which is a very, very old game.
I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, so it's like basically it's like Doom.
Right.
And it came like my dad bought these. It came in like these massive. I sound like this is like we should have like the music to like Hovis in the background as I'm talking about this, but it was like this massive cardboard box, and it had like 10 CDs, and one of them would be a demo involving loads of different things, and every CD would have about 5 or 6 games on them. Oh, it says your internet cable connection is unstable. Is everything all right?
Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rise of the Triads is basically like Doom. It's like a Doom game, or Wolfenstein 3D. And that was the first game. There was also like Race of the Nags, which was just betting. But like it was like a luck of the draw type thing. And Duke Nukem was one of them as well. Duke Nukem was probably like I played that so much.
That was a hell of a game.
Yeah. Duke Nukem.
Like
oh my god.
Proper like Deadpool sort of self-awareness of it. Of like, doesn't he go to the urinal? He's like, I need a piss.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can pee, I just spent myself. You can pee. You can pay like topless. You can give $1 to a topless dancer who will show you some pixelated boobies.
Yeah.
And as a teen, that was glorious.
Yeah, that was like.
I was like, look what's happening. Look what I can do.
Mom,
my parents never been
what's
proud.
this? Yeah, that's it.
And she just walks in. I'm just like, I didn't know what I was doing.
You needed a wee, all right? What do you want me to say? His health starts dropping.
As well.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. That's
Any video games coming out that you want to get this year?
2 Point Campus, but it's just came out. And I was really looking forward to that. And it's very good. I like those sort of games, like Theme Hospital. And like my favorite game my favorite game of all time is Dungeon Keeper 2, which was again like a dungeon management game, and I just love those games. I don't know why. They're just cool, just mining for things and creating rooms and creating people and going to war. Very cool.
Nice.
But so new games coming out. That one, and also I've been told about this one called Starfield, which I think is a Bethesda, another Bethesda game.
All right.
Don't quote me on that. But Starfield has been pushed back to 2023, but it looks incredibly good.
Yeah, but we're nearly in September now. Mad.
Yeah, it's terrifying. It's the second time. It's the third time. Second time someone said that to me today. It's like, September's like a week away. Like, shut up.
Crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Annoying.
Yeah. Just on that, if anyone wants to donate to my PayPal, it's in a month for my birthday. Just just throwing it out there. If you don't, everyone's skin like fuel costs like £500 a tank, and cheese has gone up by like 100% where I live.
My God.
It was like £2 a packet in Asda, and that's £2.85. I'm like. It's slowly like.
What's happening to Weymouth cheese? I mean, that is like, what is it? Do you have special cows? Are the cows having maybe
Probably.
like being maybe they're being treated better? Maybe that's what's happening. Like, as all these people, this is the thing is all those vegan activists that are trying to help the cows. They're not thinking about the layman who's wanting the cheese at the end. If you start giving thrones to cows and start giving them jackets and and makeovers and treating them. You're just going to put up the price of cheese. I mean, it's at what cost? Well, 85p apparently.
All the cows and the pigs and the sheep and the chicken will start unionising and we'll all be screwed.
That's it. They'll go on strike and then.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Right, quick fire questions. Then we'll
Okay.
do the meal question, the meal deal question, and then we'll wrap up.
All right.
Awesome. So just say the first thing that comes into your head, as long as little as you want.
That's dangerous. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Free reign. Right. Kinder Egg. Is it a fantastic chocolatey treat, or is it a piece of shit with a toy inside, and you only buy it to get the toy?
It's a fantastic chocolatey treat. Going against what Bill Bailey says. Bill Bailey says it's a horrible piece of chocolate and a depressing toy. No, it is a glorious treat.
Baby belt or cheese string?
Baby Bell. Any day, every day of the week.
Camping in a tent or a static caravan for 1 week?
Camping in a tent.
Living in a city or living in the countryside?
City. Which is weird, right?
Yeah.
I love tents, but I'll choose a city. Yeah, I need that busyness.
No, fair enough. What we got next? Chocolate or sweets?
Chocolate if I'm sad, sweets if I'm happy.
Nice. Nice strategic answer. I like that.
Oh yeah.
Bath or shower?
Shower.
Shower.
Bath. I question the mindset of someone having a bath. How much time do you have, right? For starters. Also, they're quite slippy. They're hard to get out of. You're either a pensioner or a baby. Those are acceptable times to have baths. Showers, you're in quick. You've got too much time on your hands if you're having baths.
Yeah. Baths. I remember as a kid learning that assisted living people, they get into the bath because there's a door on the bath. So they get into the bath when it's empty, and then they put the water on.
That's horrific.
There's like a sort of cut in the side of the bath because obviously they won't be able to get out of it using the traditional method.
This is the thing, and that makes sense.
Fuck, that's so sad.
But do you know? I'd see in that scenario, I would develop a way where you would have some kind of
Hoist.
No. A hoist would be amazing. I didn't even think about a hoist. Just like pulling out, just like your own flag, your own like national flag, just and then lowered back down. That's great. Lovely, yeah. I mean, it'd be weird if there was some guy with a horn as well and a trumpet, whilst you're having a bath. I mean, I don't know how they do things in Weymouth, but that's
it.
But
stood in the corner.
Yeah. In fact, I think that idea is better than the one I was about to say. Yeah, so we'll go with that one.
You're welcome. Mornings or evenings?
Evenings.
Mint choc chip or chocolate orange?
Chocolate orange. Easiest question there is. Mint choc chip is disgusting. Like whoever is a fan, like I just don't. It's the same reason you don't eat chocolate right after like brushing your teeth. Like who is enjoying that?
Yeah.
No, that's like a Bush Tucker trial. Like chocolate and mint, animals.
Yeah. Fair enough. You heard it here first, people. This is the craziest question of the interview, but I love the answers and I love the thinking behind this.
All right.
You're going to prison. You've messed up. You've done something wrong. Tax evasion, etc., etc. You're getting paid £10,000 a day. Every 24 hours, £10,000 will either go into your bank account or it will get put in a parcel, and when you get released, it will get given to you tax-free.
Okay.
It's a mental prison. It's a maximum security prison.
A
Anything
maximum
goes.
security prison, right?
There's a chance you might get shanked. How long between 24 hours and 6 months would you be willing to go to prison for 10k a day?
I would. I like that you've given it like I would have a choice to be there for 6 months. Like I go, I definitely be there for. I definitely do the 6 months. Yeah, I definitely. Like that wouldn't be in my hands at all. I would walk in there. They would smell they would taste the fear in the air, right? They would see me. They were going for the kill. They would juggle. They wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even have a chance to show that I could be, useful in like my comedy or something like that. They just go, I might be 6'2", right? But they'll just see, they'll know. So I would spend as little like I probably wouldn't even make the day. I wouldn't even make the 24 hours. I would go, I'm sorry, I just came to dip a toe. I've got the wrong room.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, on the wrong floor. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. But I love that. So I'm done for tax evasion, which is a very comedian thing to be done for. I like that. It's very good. Cheers, Jimmy, for ruining it for the rest of us. But then you've got like, how long would I last? Like, so they give me a sentence. They're like, well, you've done tax evasion, but we're going to give you the choice of how long you can stay in there.
Yeah, it's like a 24-hour induction period.
I love the whimsy of that legal court. That's amazing.
Yeah. Right, so you're on the road, you're doing a comedy tour, or you're about to interview a guest, or go to a music festival. You realise you don't have any lunch on you. You go to Tesco's or another supermarket, Waitrose if you're doing alright. You get a meal deal. What's your go-to meal deal? Main, snack, and drink. Okay, first of all, Sainsbury's do terrible meal deals. Alright, I get it that they don't even offer a chocolate. Right. They don't offer the chocolate. Like, they just say, no, you can have crisps or some kind of fruit. If you choose the fruit, you're a better man than I. Like that, it just seems like it's always like 7 grapes, and they're like 7 grapes that have been like they had like a really bad traumatic like childhood. like they had like they were wine. Shit, man.
They were born like aged wine. Like that, so that they're always like really horrible. So I would say. I go to Tesco. I get myself a chicken triple. Right? Now, if the chicken triple isn't available, I would get the chicken salad. Right, but the chicken triple is just it's big. It's a big sandwich. Okay, you're getting your money's worth.
Yeah.
Then I get for a drink, I get the multivitamin Tropicana. Right, get that 5-day in there. And then I would get a Duo Whisper.
Nice.
Or Boost. Or Duo Boost. If there aren't any Duo Boosts, then I get the Duo Whisper.
Yeah. It's nice that the Duo's included in that. I do like that. Shout out.
It's just a superior meal deal to Sainsbury's because of that. Not only are they giving you chocolate, they're giving you the chocolate that you think is like... I know it's a Whisper Duo. I would love to be bored one day and just to test out how much... the differences between a Whisper and a Whisper Duo, because I'm not sure it's actually that different.
Yeah.
But it looks better. It looks different.
Yeah.
And and most of your meal is eaten with your eyes.
Nice, love that.
Very painful.
Well, it's been a genuine pleasure speaking to you. Thank you so much for your time. And when this is out, I'll give you a shout.
Appreciate it, buddy. Thank you.
Nice one. Take care. Cheers, guys.
Take it easy. Thank you so much.
Absolute bedlam.
Archie Soul. As always, hooking me up with the beard wash from Duke Cannon. It's got a hint of oak barrel and Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon whiskey. I know that's backwards. I'm sorry. Got some more Duke Cannon here. Same again, Buffalo Trace. This is a bar of soap, as I've mentioned numerous times now in guest episodes. That's a big boy. Bedlam 2022, once again, will get you 20% off everything on archiesoul.com. And for Christmas, I was very kindly given a £25 bottle of Anthony Sea Kelp Scrub, which is absolutely awesome, and I love it. So that's Archie Soul, www.archiesoul.com. And finally, we have Made Sure, as always. I love fragrances. If anyone knows me in real life, I love candles, I love scents, I love walking into a house and smelling like gingerbread or lemon and lime or strawberries. And I don't think that that's necessarily something that's appreciated by men. And I think it should be, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's always seen as very girly. However, I think that we should normalise it for men. So Made Sure, madesure.pigcartel.com. Bedlam 20, not Bedlam 2022, for 20% off your order. We've got wax melts to suit every emotion, every feeling.
We've got Jamaican Me Crazy. This one, you can smell it through the wrapper. It is amazing. It's a really left field scent. It's quite a tropical fruity smell. We've got lemon and lime. If the camera wants to focus, that would be fantastic. Lemon and lime. There we go. Smell that one as well. They're really powerful, but they're really like sort of punchy, and they are meant to be sort of chunked and sort of separated. You're not meant to put the whole thing in your burner. So yeah, there we go. Pink Flamingo as well is the last one I've got to hand. And we've got Avabath here. Avabath. So yeah, just mind-blowing. Everyone that I've ever sent any Made Sure stuff to has absolutely loved it. And I think that 2022 could be their year. Hopefully going to look at doing some events and some fairs when COVID finally jogs on. But yeah, I'm really, really proud of Hannah for making just these amazing snap bars, wax melts. We're looking potentially at getting burner kits, but that's a little bit way down the road. A lot of people say, you know, how do you use them? And it would be good to do like an all assembled thing. I think Hannah's looking at doing some spring scents soon. And then we'll look into doing it as a seasonal thing, you know, spring, summer, autumn, winter, Halloween, Christmas, that sort of stuff in the middle. But yeah, I absolutely love all my sponsors. I use all of the stuff myself, and I just try and be as genuine as possible with it, really. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you are watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. I'm nearly at 30 subscribers, I think, and I'd like to get to 50 by the end of February if possible. I don't think that's an unachievable task. But yeah, thanks as always for listening, watching, and I hope that the guests that I've just had on has been interesting. So I will speak to you all very, very soon. Keep it Bedlam, and please support the show by supporting my sponsors. Cheers, guys. Bye.
Absolute Bedlam Podcast. Who? What? Where? Why?